What's up, everybody? So, I got a new firearm. I've had it for a little while now. I've had it for maybe a month, and I've been wanting one of these. I had one a long time ago, but I pawned it because I needed money. And so, what we have here is a 1911 chambered in 45 ACP. Let's drop the magazine. It is not loaded. There's no chamber, no round in the chamber, nothing like that. This is a Rock Island Armory. They're made in Turkey. I do believe, let's see, is there a place on it that says where it's made? There's your serial number. M1911A1. So this would be a military style. There's your grip safety. So if you do not depress this when you're aiming the gun or have your finger on the trigger, it will not move. The trigger will not pull without depressing this. It does have ambidextrous thumb safety that will not engage unless the slide is racked. And what you talk about with cocked and locked. So you would put your mag in and you would chamber your round. The hammer right there will go back, and then you can flip this up. And it's cocked and locked, but you're still on safe. Trigger does not function. However, though, these guns, these were designed back in World War II. John Browning perfected this for our military. This was your standard sidearm in the military if you were in World War II. There's different models of this. This is an A1, which would be the military style. There's also an officer's model. There's a commander's model. And there's one other one that I can't quite remember. Here's the magazine. You get 8 rounds, single stack, which means your rounds stack just singularly all the way to the bottom. If you get one that holds, you can get 1911s that hold more rounds. If you get one that holds, say, 15, which is probably crazy, but if you were to get one, it would be double stacked, where your rounds stagger in the magazine. And that's double stack. But back to the gun here. It's solid steel. I mean, there's no aluminum here. Solid steel. The sight's pretty basic. I mean, you might want to paint these because that front sight there, very difficult to pick up unless you put it against something white. Then you can see it sticking up. But if you're shooting out in the sun, you might want to paint that. And the rear side, you might want to paint you a white, just outline it so you can see. Trigger's nice in this gun. I mean, it shoots very well. I've shot it once. I shot one magazine through it without cleaning it. It's never been apart. You can see that? That's the cosmoline that they use. It's packing grease that they use for guns. And as I've said before in my videos, if you get you a new firearm, take them apart. Learn how to field strip them. And clean all of that cosmoline out. Because there are risks that it could catch on fire with you, and that would suck. It also has these interchangeable grips. I put these on it because I think the wood looks better. But the black's not bad either. And this got weight to it. I mean, the 45, she don't kick very much. I mean, it'll jolt you a little bit, but it ain't too bad. Not in this. Pretty comfortable. Here's the barrel that runs all the way through, and it says 45 ACP on it. Such a nice gun, and it's very affordable for a 1911A1. I mean, if you were to get a Colt that's a 1911A1, dude, you're looking at over $1,000. Well over 1,000. And there's other 1911s out there, like the Dan & Wesson stuff, custom stuff, that's like 3, 5, 6 grand. This one, I bought brand new with the box and the manual and everything for $535. And the paperwork, I believe, is in here. Yeah, here we go. Here's your booklet that tells you about it and how to take it apart and all that different stuff and safety and things like that. If you get one new, they do not come with these. This is a barrel bushing wrench for 1911s. You will need this to take one apart, especially if it's new, because when they're new, they're very stiff. And so I'll show you what I'm talking about here if I can get it into the camera here. So see that silver piece right there? That's your guide rod. And then you got this little thing right here that goes around the muscle. The muscle. What the hell? The muzzle. That's your barrel bushing. So you'll have to depress this and let that spring detract. Then you can move this way to make it where the recoil spring will come up. Please be careful when you do that because it does come up with pressure on it and it can fly across the room, it can hit you in the face, all that good stuff. That's part of the disassembly. You depress that, you twist this way, and then your slide, and we have to move it to this little notch right there. Right there. That little notch there. I believe that's the one. Nope, it's not. It's not that one. It's the other one, the little bitty one right here. That's where your slide will come off. This is your slide stop right here. And that also comes out by pushing this little pin. It's a little bit complicated if you've never taken one apart to clean them. I mean, even the magazine here, even it has cosmoline on it from the inside of the mag well down in there. And man, this is like an American classic, And there's guys out here, man, they carry these guns religiously. I mean, if it's not this, they won't have anything else. And interestingly here, there's guys that swear by these, right? And then you have the Glock, the 21 that I have. 13 rounds of the same caliber, 45 ACP. The gun is much lighter than this. When you carry this for a good long while, this starts to get heavy. I mean, you'll really feel it in your knees and stuff like that. And then you switch over to the Glock, you don't feel it that much. This is the gun. This is the one. When I was telling the story in one of my gun videos about the guy that shot himself in the ass with this is what it was. And he was carrying it like that in a holster. And somehow it went off. I don't know how that happened. And the Glocks are drop safe. These are not. This has an inertia firing pin. So if you accidentally drop the gun down like that on a hard surface like the floor or a dresser, there's potential that it can go off if it's got around the chamber. So just be careful. There's your mag release. And that's all you get. You get that one. You cannot change this out to go ambidextrous. Ow. I forgot the mag was in it. Let me pick that up real quick. Hit me right in the foot, man. But this is a good purchase, If you're wanting to get you a 1911 and you can't afford a Colt or a Smith & Wesson or a Ruger. Rugers are like $800, $900. If you can't afford the Dan & Wesson, this is not bad at all. I mean, I shot 8 rounds out of it, not a single malfunction. See, the Glock, if you don't hold them just right up here, the slide will come back and it will jam because of how light they are. This, with it being all steel, solid steel, there's no chance of that. I've never had a 1911 jam on me. Unless it's user error, by either, putting your magazine in and you don't quite click it and it's sticking out by that much and you don't hear it click. Sometimes it can cause feed issues, things like that. But with this, when you're shooting it, I've never had one jam. I have had one stovepipe before where the brass sticks straight up out of the ejection port here. And one complaint that I have about 1911s, and every one I've shot has this issue. I don't know why. When you're shooting it and the rounds are flying out as you're shooting, they like to hit you in the head. I've got little burn spots before where one smacked me in the head multiple times. I don't understand that. But man, what a gun. This thing's awesome. I gotta get it apart. I gotta clean it. I just don't know. And when you put them back together, if you look at a lot of used 1911s, you're gonna see a scratch right here. Or down here. And people in the gun world, this might sound, like you're, what would you call it? Shitting on somebody. But they call it the idiot scratch. Which is where when they put this slide stop back in, they push it all the way, after it's hanging down here, they push it all the way in and then go up and click it into that slot here, and it scratches the finish on your gun. There's a proper way to do that where you don't push it all the way in, you get it almost all the way in, then you push it up into the slot and then click it in. There's not much to this gun. There's not a lot to say about them, other than it served our military for years and years and years. And they're just reliable. They're ultra reliable. I'd like to get more of these, man. Get an officer's model, a commander model, another A1. I'd like to have a Colt A1, but man, I ain't got I'm an old poor boy. I ain't got the money for that stuff. They are really nice though. And I've seen some World War II guns that were actually battle used. And after all those years, from 1939 all the way to now, the gun is still completely functional. Now, over time, yeah, you'll have to replace the recoil spring because it will get weak and you'll start to have feeding issues. You might have to replace your trigger if something breaks. That's about all I could foresee happening to it. They're durable as hell. You can't break them. I mean, it's solid steel. If you can break this, you're pretty damn strong, man. And here's the grips. If you want to change them out, these screws, they take a hex key. You take them out. This will come off, and there's one on the other side as well. And they usually come with the interchangeable grips. And the only problem with this one is you only get one magazine. But you can find 1911 magazines, and as long as they're a 7 to 8 round capacity, they'll work. They'll click right in, lock in. Everything will be fine. So, anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed the video. This is a cool gun. And my dad's a big fan of the 1911. And I told him I'd like to have one, so he took me out to Academy Sports in my area down here, and let's go look for you one, see what they got. And they had this. This is a display gun, too. And people were checking this out, the whole time they had it. You can't even tell that it's been racked back and forth or anything like that. It looks completely unused. I was looking at a Smith & Wesson 45, then I saw this, and it was much cheaper, so I got it. But John Browning designed this handgun, and man, that guy was a genius when it came to firearms. Like I've said before about him, almost every modern firearm design that you come across, John Browning has had some involvement in making those. The only one that I know of that he's not involved with is the Mauser action that the Mauser brothers used way back in the day, and that's what every hunting rifle action that you come across is based on, because they never patented it, so anyone could use it. But I think John Browning, I think he wanted to patent this to where no one else could make one, but he never got around to it. And so now you can get them with Colt and anything else. What is... Oh, that's part of the sight. I thought that was some sort of like groove in my gun. Oh, look at that machining right there. See that kind of a white spot there? That's tooling marks where they put the front sight in. Cool. But yeah, pretty much every modern firearm design you come across, John Browning had something to do with it. And this, they say this was his baby. Like, he designed this, and the military we want it. We gotta have it. And it served us for a long, long time until they switched to the Beretta M92. I forget what year that was, the 80s, I think? Something like that. But if you guys are wanting a 1911 and you want an affordable one, don't pass up on the good old Rock Island Armory. They're very nice guns. The only thing you might want to do to them is keep your port polished and keep your feed ramp polished up so that you really don't run the risk of malfunctions. So, thanks for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. And take care out there. Be safe with your firearms. Because that bullet doesn't care where it's going once it leaves this muzzle. And once you squeeze that trigger and something bad happens, you can't take it back. So, thanks for watching, guys.